Friends, hopefully second time's the charm. I recorded this for you and everything, but I think I talked too much, so the video was too long. So we're gonna get started right away. This is Velma Gratch and the Way Cool Butterfly, and it's written by Alan Madison, and it's illustrated by Kevin Hawks, who's the same person who illustrated Westlandia. So you know the pictures are gonna be awesome. Let's get reading. First, check out these caterpillars. We're going looking for butterflies. Velma Gratch and the Way Cool Butterfly. Velma Gratch was the youngest of the three Gratch sisters. Frida, the oldest, had gone to first grade first, followed by Fiona, and now it was Velma's turn. The chorus teacher remembered Frida best because she had a voice like an angel. And the gym teacher remembered Fiona best because she ran like the devil. And that's just a phrase that people use sometimes to describe somebody who can run really fast. And the first grade teacher, Mr. Plexippus, fondly remembered both sisters because of Frida's miraculous math and Fiona's spectacular spelling. Everyone from the class guinea pig to the principal had magnificent memories of the older Gratch sisters, but they could hardly even recall Velma's name. This made Velma feel as if she did not belong in first grade at all. She wanted to curl into a ball and roll right back into kindergarten. "Of course you belong," Velma's mother said, trying to cheer her up. "You've only just begun. Soon everybody will notice you." Velma couldn't wait. She needed to be noticed now. It's hard wanting to stand out from your family, especially if you have amazing sisters like Velma does. In chorus, she sang loudest so that the teacher could hear her the best. And in gym, she ran the slowest so the teacher could see her the best. And in class, she refused to read and muddled her math. Mr. Plexippus lamented, that means he said, that she was the first Gratch sister to ever be sent to the principal's office. This brought a small smile to Velma's face. "Littlest Gratch, why are you singing so loudly in chorus and running so slowly in gym?" inquired Principal crossly. "Because," answered Velma, "I want you to remember me, just like you remember Frida and Fiona." The principal's owlish eyes opened wide. "But my dear, those Gratches were remembered for good things." Velma's small smile pretzel twisted into a full-blown frown. So now Velma's going to have to think of a good reason to be remembered instead of a bad one. Science was Velma's favorite subject. She had learned many fabulous facts, like how a rainbow is born and why a volcano burps. The latest lesson was about butterflies. Mr. Plexippus explained that a butterfly starts as an egg, and the egg turns into a caterpillar. The caterpillar disappears into a chrysalis, which is a little sac, and does not come out until he has changed into a beautiful butterfly. He called this changing metamorphosis. Velma didn't want to forget this extra long word, so she repeated it on her walk home. Metamorphosis, metamorphosis, metamorphosis. Such a good word. "Frida, when you were in first grade, did you study butterflies?" Velma asked her oldest sister. "No, we learned about worms," Frida replied. "Fiona, when you were in first grade, did you study butterflies?" Velma asked her middle sister. "No, we found out about frogs," Fiona stated. "Well," said Velma proudly, "we are studying butterflies and medal more for this." "That's way cool," Frida declared, and Fiona bobbled her head in way cool agreement. She forgot how to say metamorphosis. Medal more of this. Velma read everything in the library about butterflies. She discovered that there are 20,000 different kinds, which was a lot. She adored the ones with colorful names: brown elfin, frosted flasher, sleepy orange, and the ones with funny names too: comma, question mark, American snout. Not to mention the ones with strange names like Morpho, Painted Lady, or Gossamer Wing. But her favorite butterfly of all was the orange and black monarch. When it got cold, all of the monarchs would fly south to Mexico to stay warm. Velma thought this was an amazing coincidence because last winter vacation, she and her family had also flown south to Mexico to stay warm. I love monarch butterflies. Hopefully we'll get to start seeing them around soon. It's almost butterfly time. In science, Mr. Plexipus announced that they would take a class trip to the Butterfly Conservatory, a place where real butterflies were collected and cared for. Because Velma didn't want to forget this extra long word, she repeated it again and again as she walked home. Conservatory, conservatory, conservatory. Frida, did you take a class trip in first grade? Velma asked her oldest sister. Absolutely. We went to the museum, Frida replied. Fiona, did you take a class trip in first grade? Velma asked her middle sister. Absolutely. We went to the aquarium, Fiona stated. Well, said Velma proudly, we're going to the can serve the story. That's way cool, Frida declared, and Fiona bobbled her head in way cool agreement. Conserve the story. Conservatory. The Butterfly Conservatory was surrounded by fancy flower beds and bedecked with banners of butterflies. Velma was so excited. Her knobby knees wobbled and her spaghetti arms trembled and her carroty curls shook. A sharp-nosed woman holding a clipboard introduced herself. I am your tour guide, she said. Inside, a butterfly might land on you, but please don't touch its wings. Does anyone know why? Velma's hand shot up. Because they're made of teeny tiny scales that could rub off like dust, and that is not good, she explained. Precisely, said the guide. What's your name? I'm Velma, the youngest of the 3 Gratch sisters, she said. I don't think I know any of your sisters, the tour guide commented as they entered the rainforested room. There's a space like this at the Monterey Bay, or not the Monterey Bay Aquarium, the San Francisco Zoo. And I think also at the Academy of Sciences. There's a butterfly room you can go into. It's really neat. It was a magical space, slathered in tall trees and tangled vines. Water gurgled over rocks, and butterflies of every variety, giant swallowtails, short-tailed skippers, pygmy blues, and best of all, monarchs, were flying up to forever, it seemed. The guide explained that when it got colder in a couple of weeks, she would take the monarchs into the park and let them go free so that they could fly to Mexico. This traveling was called migration. Because Velma didn't want to forget this extra long word, she repeated it again and again as she walked through the rainforest. Migration, migration, migration. And that's true. There are some places in California that you can see huge groups of monarchs. It's really awesome. Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz is a good place to go. A gorgeous green comma rested on Randy's head, and the class oohed. A baby brown elephant settled on Sandy's nose, and the class awed. A big blue morpho alighted on Andy's shoulder, and the class gasped. But not even one single butterfly landed on any part of Velma. Time to leave, instructed Mr. Plexipus as they neared the exit, and a tear formed in the corner of Velma's eye. All she wanted was one single, tingly touch of a butterfly. On a nearby branch sat a most lovely monarch. Oh, how she yearned to pet those velvety wings! She moved slowly. The class was leaving. One more inch. It was so pretty. She froze. If she touched its wings, it might... Velma couldn't do it. She couldn't hurt a butterfly. Come now, Velma, we have to go. Sadly, Velma turned away, but at that very moment, a marvelous thing happened. All she wants is to touch a butterfly, or have a butterfly touch her. The monarch hopped from its branch and roosted right on Velma's finger. Delicate wings slowly folding, antenna twitching, weightless and wondrous, the insect sat. Velma was in heaven. Look at that. That is so neat. So special. The bus is waiting, her teacher called. Velma placed her finger next to a branch. Bye-bye, butterfly, she whispered. But the monarch didn't move. We're closing, said the tour guide. Velma lightly blew on the butterfly. It didn't budge. Without ever touching the butterfly's wings, everyone tried to get the monarch to fly, crawl, or walk off of Velma's finger. But nothing worked. At last, Velma was told to leave, with the butterfly still perched on her pointer. It stayed there the whole bus ride home. Dream come true for Miss Velma. It stayed there while she slept, and it was still there when she awoke. It stayed during gym class, math, reading, ballet, soccer. Day in and day out, it stayed put on that pointer. Soon, everyone from the class guinea pig to the principal knew about Velma and her butterfly. Mr. Plexippus lamented that Velma was positively the first Gratch ever sent to the principal's office twice. This stuck an oversized frown on Velma's face. Velma, Principal crossly commanded, it is time for the butterfly to go. Oh, I've tried to get it to go, Velma moaned, but it just won't. Well, no one will ever forget this, the principal fumed. Velma's frown pretzel twisted into a small smile. Hey, I know what to do, she proclaimed. My gray son! Can you think of what word she was trying to say? Something that she had already learned? Velma paraded Principal Crossley, Mr. Plexippus, her class, Frida, and Fiona to the park. Cars honked, people yelled, but despite the commotion, the monarch did not move. A cool wind from the west blew through the fields. In the middle stood the tour guide from the conservatory, carefully opening an enormous sack. A single monarch butterfly stepped out, looked around, and flitted away. It was trailed by 10, and then 10 more, soaring up and up until the sky overflowed with thick clouds of orange and black. What's happening? Wondered Frida. Why are you letting them go? Demanded Fiona. Migration, answered the guide. My gray son, repeated Velma. The wind tousled Velma's hair and tickled her butterfly's wings. The monarch jumped onto her nose as if to give her a kiss, and then took flight to join its friends. Over the treetops it flew, over the skyscrapers, and up into the wild blue, orange, and black yonder, on its way to Mexico. Velma! Shouted Principal Crossley, and every eye turned toward her. Oh no, fretted Velma, sure she was about to become the only Gratch to be sent to the principal's office 3 times. That was way cool, the principal said, and one and all bobbled their heads in way cool agreement. And then, with her fine finger where the monarch had sat still a tingle, Velma, followed by her 2 sisters, floated home. So sweet. And then at the end, we get the butterflies. And there's our monarch. Go look for a butterfly this weekend. I love you. I will see you soon for a video chat.